you were better off purchasing XRP than Bitcoin during the vast bulk of its existence. Since one of the most frequent arguments made by Bitcoiners against XRP is that everything will go to zero against Bitcoin and that Bitcoin has outperformed the entire market, why even pay attention to everything else? I realize that this may sound like a rather stunning reality. Guys, I want to dispel that false information in this video and demonstrate that there isn't much of a difference between the tokens of XRP and Bitcoin. I also want to explain why there is such a huge misunderstanding about how these two networks operate. Since I don't think many people truly grasp what we're going to talk about, I'm actually pretty eager for this video, folks. We frequently discuss a number of crucial topics, including XRP's speed, its native DEX, and the way financial institutions are collaborating with Ripple. However, much of the debate we are currently hearing about X centers on the creation of these protocols, as many Bitcoiners are arguing that XRP was not properly formed and is not decentralized. Therefore, it cannot be in a strategic reserve. They frequently discuss why Bitcoin is so unique, why it is so fantastic, and why it is so decentralized, but they omit several crucial details that, in my opinion, demand further research. Bitcoiners frequently ignore the history of these blockchains. I firmly believe that this is a truly unique historical moment where we can genuinely reflect on the creation of these protocols. After watching this movie, you guys will notice that there are a lot of parallels between the two protocols, almost none at all. Ultimately, none of these blockchains emerged spontaneously, correct? The creators of these blockchains were human. Basically, a group of people came together and built the XRP ledger. A portion was given to the founders, and Ripple received another after the company was founded. Let's now examine the Bitcoin case. Satoshi Nakamoto, who remained unidentified, created Bitcoin. However, that doesn't imply that no one invented Bitcoin. We just don't know who invented Bitcoin, and we would essentially be in the same situation if we didn't know who invented XRP. The only difference is that known founders developed the XRP ledger system, while anonymous founders developed the Bitcoin protocol. Regarding Bitcoin, we remain largely unaware of Satoshi Nakamoto's identity and his possible role within the network. We have no idea what Satoshi Nakamoto is doing at the moment. However, since we are unsure of that, we are unable to take it into consideration when discussing Satoshi's potential future participation in the Bitcoin protocol. It is undoubtedly true that Ripple is still accomplishing a lot with the XRP ledger, as many people point out. They continue to do a lot with the XRP ledger, which makes me very happy. It's really bullish, in my opinion. However, we don't know Satoshi Nakamoto's identity. It's possible that he is one of the largest Bitcoin holders and is indeed Michael Saylor. He possesses a substantial amount of Bitcoin, similar to what Ripple does with XRP. In the end, the token was produced, and the creators were given a certain allocation of it. If we go back and examine how these blockchains were made, there is hardly any difference, even though Satoshi was allowed to mine it for free in his situation. Therefore, humans developed the protocol prior to the token's issuance. The XRP ledger now distributes the token in a completely different manner. They said, hey, let's not waste all of these resources. Instead of having a lot of complications, we should avoid wasting all of these inefficiencies by distributing this token gradually. We should create the tokens all at once and then distribute them. We should refrain from tackling the numerous engineering challenges present in the Bitcoin protocol. The Bitcoin protocol implements mining. In order to distribute that token gradually over time in a decentralized manner, mining enabled users to donate power to the network in exchange for a payment. Since all of the tokens had already been issued, and Ripple had adopted the stance of gradually distributing them to members of the ecosystem, the XRP ledger was significantly different. Therefore, the only actual differences are in the distribution of the token and its transfer to participants. You can receive a portion of the payout in the Bitcoin example by only beginning to provide validation power. In the case of the XRP ledger, Ripple received XRP as a gift and now distributes it to market participants. There are many who contend that the Bitcoin distribution is far more equitable, and that is a valid point. The Bitcoin example performed admirably if you are truly searching for the most decentralized method of distributing the token. However, we must consider that this also led to certain significant flaws in the Bitcoin protocol. Distributing the token over time is not a simple task. For this reason, mining is essentially a reality. It significantly reduces the speed and efficiency of the underlying protocol by introducing all these complications. As a result, the Bitcoin blockchain has a fantastic method of token distribution. Isn't it highly decentralized? And it is accessible to all. However, it essentially slows down the network to the point that it is unable to scale for any practical use. The XRP ledger, on the other hand, used a completely different strategy. All right, they said, Let's give up some of this token distribution stuff and concentrate only on making this network quick and effective for its main purpose. Eventually, the network will distribute the token, and once it reaches a critical scale, the distribution problem will no longer be a concern. The Bitcoin network concentrated on finding a very quick solution to that problem. All right, let's execute this right away and not worry about scalability. The XRP ledger side chose a slightly different path. They stated that, although there may be some challenges in the early stages of token distribution, our network would not be affected by the distribution's after effects. In order for Bitcoin to function as intended, it had to go through this decentralized token distribution process, which caused several slowing issues on the underlying blockchain. You know what? They said in the XRP ledger case, let's just issue it and distribute these tokens, and we'll exit the network quickly and effectively. However, it was the same when these networks were first established. And there is no fundamental difference between the tokens themselves. The network was developed by humans, and the tokens are being distributed. The underlying chain issued both of these tokens. These two networks have complete decentralization. When viewed that way, the two assets have similar legal implications. This is the reason it's so absurd to include Bitcoin in the strategic reserve instead of XRP. Both sides can present their arguments. There is no logical difference between Satoshi and the Bitcoin network since we don't know his identity or connection. Having stated all of that, there is one crucial topic we must discuss. And that's what Bitcoiners always bring up. Additionally, the XRP ledger blockchain lacks ledgers. Essentially, we needed to reset the XRP ledger at a very early stage. Undoubtedly, a centralized staff was necessary to reset the ledger. Many claim that this demonstrates that the XRP ledger was centralized at the time. Indeed, it was. At first, all of these networks were centralized. Decentralization develops gradually. The Bitcoin network experienced a similar event to illustrate this point. It experienced an overflow issue that resulted in the creation of roughly 184 billion Bitcoin. Satoshi had to step in and correct the underlying protocol when that occurred. As a result, both the Bitcoin network and the XRP ledger were initially somewhat centralized. The network's first developers were working hard to expand it. Therefore, it may eventually become decentralized and continue to be secure for all network users. This further demonstrates that there were no differences across networks in the early days. The token's distribution was the sole distinction. Let's tear off the bandage, the XRP ledger urged. Let's finish everything. Issue the token. We'll save the network's speed and efficiency by distributing the token gradually. For Bitcoin, they suggested issuing the token gradually and distributing it to participants, but at the expense of network efficiency. These are the primary distinctions, aside from the fact that we don't know Satoshi's identity. They should also clearly demonstrate the absurdity of promoting one network over another. Since the final major argument made by Bitcoiners is, well, you know what? Even if all that is true, what is the point of buying something like XRP if everything is going to zero against Bitcoin? I want to wrap up this video by discussing what we talked about in the introduction. They're going to start perspiring at this point. Upon examining the data, it becomes evident that investing in XRP was more advantageous than purchasing Bitcoin for the majority of its existence. Check out this chart. This is the ratio of XRP to Bitcoin, which essentially indicates when XRP performs better than Bitcoin and when Bitcoin performs better than XRP. This graph stretches back until 2013. As you can see, you were better off purchasing XRP than Bitcoin during the vast majority of its existence, starting in 2013. At the moment, that includes every red area and every green area. At that point, purchasing Bitcoin was preferable to purchasing XRP. However, you can see that, going back to 2013, you were nearly always better off purchasing XRP than Bitcoin because of the way its price has exceeded that of Bitcoin. This completely refutes the argument that you wouldn't want to hold XRP because Bitcoin will always outperform it. Additionally, why would you ever desire anything that will always do worse than Bitcoin? This particular chart totally disproves that notion and demonstrates how essentially flawed that line of reasoning is. The plain truth is that XRP was a better cryptocurrency to invest in than Bitcoin for the vast majority of the time. And that's a straightforward fact. Stepping back and considering everything we discussed in this video, it is impossible for anyone to rationally conclude that XRP should not be included in a strategic reserve while Bitcoin should. Simply said, the majority of those who say such things are unaware of these realities. The majority of those who say such are either lying about these facts or don't understand them. It is very evident that XRP was the superior asset to own over the vast bulk of history. They explain it by saying everything is different because they don't know Satoshi. It's among the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. The difference between XRP and Bitcoin would be zero if Ripple vanished tomorrow. Furthermore, there wouldn't be any distinction between XRP and Bitcoin if Satoshi appeared tomorrow. They don't want you to be aware of these truths. When they try to misinterpret this information, they want you to try to fall for the FUD. However, examine all of this for yourself. Look back at the past. There is nothing more obvious. This is merely an attempt to conceal the reality that XRP is far superior to Bitcoin in many respects. Thank you so much for attending, guys. I hope this update was enjoyable.